How can you be successful without letting it destroy you? Find out now on the Unlock Success podcast.
This is the Unlock Success podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to another episode of the Unlock Success podcast, where I give you my completely unfiltered, no BS take on business and entrepreneurship and everything that it takes to be successful. And listen, right now, what I'm going to talk about on this podcast it's really about success and how it applies to your business, right? But when does striving for success do more harm than it does good? And that's what I really want to talk about on today's episode. And the irony is, by identifying the pitfalls and the dangers of success, you may find yourself with more of it in the end than you ever thought. So a quick story to lay this out, okay? I was talking to one of my students who's seeing massive success in their online coaching program. And the sales were flooding in, the clients were happy, and she even had a great work-life balance to spend time with her husband and with her kids. Well, she came to me a few months ago and she said, okay, Anthony, things are going great. I'm ready to scale this thing. I'd like to double my results next year. And I said, great. What do you need to do and why do you want to do that? Like, what's the real purpose for that? And she just stopped and looked at me and asked, well, what do you mean? Why do I want to do that? You see, she wanted to scale her business, which is great, but didn't actually have a reason to scale her business. You know what I mean? This is an incredibly common trap that many entrepreneurs, almost all entrepreneurs, can fall into. We push for more and more and more of what we think is success purely for no reason other than that's what we've been taught. That's what we think we should be doing, right? And look, I'm all for growth in your business, but without a motivation or a reason to justify your growth, you may end up sacrificing the things you love in your business just for the sake of getting to the next level. We see this play out all the time on the athletic field, right? Teams that win championships, ultimately they can't hold the title because they're too busy pursuing other things like brand deals, commercial spots, and more media attention. The same thing happens in business. I've seen entrepreneurs with a great work-life balance lose all of their free time and get totally burned out because they're focused on doubling their revenue or getting the next big ClickFunnels award or launching a brand new product. And look, I'm not anti-scaling, okay, don't get me wrong, but I'm certainly not, and I'm certainly not anti-growth. Okay, let's just get to that, okay? I launch new products all the time. I launch new projects like this podcast all the time. And I give my employees sales goals and numbers to hit and all of those things. But over time, I want to add something, right? Every time I want to grow, I'm constantly asking myself, why? If it's not going to improve my life or my students' lives or my employees' lives, then maybe it's not worth growing my business over and over and over again, right? And there's something I know, well, here's the thing. There's something I know that nobody wants to hear, but it's seriously, it's worth noting, right? Okay, and it's really worth asking yourself. Do you want the things you want in your business because somebody else has them? Think about that. I recently recorded an entire podcast episode on the dangers of comparing yourself in business. So I won't go into that too much here, but think about that, But you wouldn't believe the number of times I've heard people say, I want to get this many leads a day because I heard that's what this guy's doing, right? Or I want to hire a sales team because this entrepreneur in this Facebook group who started to do the same thing as me and started at the same time as me has one of these sales teams, right? And look, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you from experience, more does not always mean better. You always have to trade something in your business to get something else, whether it's trading time, trading money, trading your peace, trading your sanity, right? There's always a cost to success. And sometimes that success is 100% worth it. And other times it's a price I'd never really be willing to pay. So how can you be successful without letting it destroy you? The first step is to ask yourself why. Why do you want that next level of success? The second step is to ask yourself if it's worth it. If the success you want is worth the price you have to pay, right? And the third thing is, Well, if you have your why and you're willing to pay the price for it, the third is to go at it with everything you got, right? So what that means is to take the time to lay out a plan to truly execute, right, on exactly what you need to do in order to achieve that goal and in order to, complete that why, right? I'll tell you right now, I've been caught up in this what seems like my whole life, but it's probably the last 15 years or so of my life. I've been caught up in the chasing goals, right? Because everybody tells you to be goal-oriented, and I am. I'm very goal-oriented. But I think that what we have to do in order to not let success just tear us down and destroy us and destroy everything that we have in life is you've got to set personal goals and business goals, okay? And then once you've got personal goals set and business goals set, what you need to do is you need to look at your business goals and make sure that they're not going to destroy all of your personal goals, right? So it's like if goal number 3 on my list is to get another ClickFunnels award, okay? But I know that what it's going to take to get that ClickFunnels award is going to screw up 3 things over here on my personal list because I'm not going to have any time to do them, then maybe this isn't really worth it, right? My trade, my reward is not really worth the risk, right, that I'm taking and the time that I'm putting into it. I know that I have struggled with that pretty much my whole life, is trying to balance work and personal life, and then also trying to balance the goals that I want to meet in each one. And I think up until probably, honestly, this year, I always valued the goals in my business much higher than the goals in my personal life. I did not wake up one day striving to get married and have kids. That just wasn't, that's not me, right? That was always on the back burner to, building a company, building a brand, writing books, selling 1 million books, having a television show, doing a seminar, like all these things. These things were the goals that really mattered to me. The other things were just kind of like, hey, this is what I'd like to do. And I think that you have to really identify, like, what are you trading, right? And I think that sometimes it's just about awareness, right? I mean, think about that. It's about awareness. There are so many times we're just not aware of what we're doing until it's too late. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about that, or talk about this on this episode of the podcast, is to raise awareness. Like, look at your goals that you've set for yourself and for your business. Are your goals set just so that you can meet what somebody else is doing? Or are they set because you need to achieve those for you, right? If your goal is to make $1 million this year, that's phenomenal. But why do you have that goal? Is it so that you can also achieve one of these personal goals, like buy your family a vacation home, or take your family on a vacation, or pay off the house that you currently have so that your family's home is secure? Like, if the business goal, okay, also helps you achieve personal goals, then obviously it's probably something that's well worth it. But if the business goal is to make $1 million, but you've already got 40 million and you don't really need the next million, but it means that you can't go on that vacation with your family, or you can't spend that extra time with your wife or your kids or whatever, then is it really worth it? You see what I'm saying? Two totally different scenarios, and you have to figure out which one you're in and then really what your trade-off is. I don't think anybody told me, and I think if they did, I wasn't willing to listen, I'm not going to lie, when I was 22, 23, 24, to be aware of what I was trading for my success. Now, I'll never sit here and say that I regret focusing on business for pretty much all of my 20s and my early 30s. I'll never say that, but I will say that when I look back at my 20s, like, I didn't have the same experience that my friends had. I didn't have the fun. I didn't have the college experience. I didn't have, life was serious for me. I was working and building a business. And so I didn't have that lighthearted, like, carefree, attitude or moment in my life. And I think that maybe if I had been aware, I probably wouldn't have changed course. I wouldn't have all of a sudden decided that I didn't want to be in business. But what I would have done is maybe carved out moments where I could be 23 instead of, a business owner, or where I could be 28 instead of a business owner, or where I could spend time on a vacation, with my wife, my brother, my family, and not work, and it be okay to be detached, right? I think awareness would have allowed me to make different decisions. And that's what I really want to encourage you to do today is have awareness, right? Be aware of each decision that you make in your business and how it affects your personal life, right? And vice versa, the decisions you make in your personal life affecting your business. And truly be aware and think through how these goals and these ambitions are going to affect each side of your life, your business life and your personal life. And then with that awareness, make your decisions. Because I think if we're aware and we have this acute awareness when we make these decisions, we'll never regret them, right? Because we'll always have made the decisions knowing full well what the consequences were, right? What the cost was. And I think that's something that as an entrepreneur is super, super important. You can be successful and you don't have to let success destroy you. You just have to be aware, right? You have to have awareness so that you know exactly what you're giving up when you make each and one of your decisions, and when you strive to reach each and every one of these goals that you set for yourself, both in your personal and in your business life, right? So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this helps you with each and every decision that you make to stop for a second, be aware of that moment and what that decision is going to mean. Weigh the pros and cons, look at the cost of it, and then make the decision that you feel is right for you. So I hope that this has given you a little more insight into how to make decisions as an entrepreneur. It'll help you be successful without absolutely destroying who you are on either side of the equation. And I look forward to sharing more entrepreneurial insight, more things that I've learned as my journey, in my journey as an entrepreneur, and more things to help you unlock more success in your business and in your personal life on the next episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.
More.